Hello, this is Brian Askins with Secure Insurance Group. I hope everyone's having a tremendous day today. I just want to spend a few minutes with you today and talk about our partnership that we have with First Heartland. First Heartland is the partner that we do all of our fully underwritten life insurance through. And so I want to kind of walk you through a couple things today that might be extremely valuable to you. I've been selling life insurance now for almost 31 years. It'll be 31 years in April of 2021. And one of the things about life insurance is obviously you run across a lot of individuals and they've got varying health issues. Some have heart problems, some have some lung problems, some may have diabetes, some have all kinds of various health issues. Some have family history issues to where maybe their dad or mom or brother or sister may have passed away or had a diagnosis of cancer, heart attack, stroke, diabetes, all kinds of different things that may have occurred. And all of that impacts the rating on life insurance. And so when we're quoting a person on life insurance, we want to get the best rating possible, but we also want to make the process as simple as possible also. And so by using X-RAE, you're going to prevent yourself from submitting a case to carrier A that doesn't even accept people that have the particular health issues or family history issues that your client has. And then all of a sudden you got to go back to next carrier B, C. This right here prevents all of that. It allows you to see who is going to accept this case prior to you ever submitting the case. And so it's a great tool, and I'm going to walk through that with you today. I'm also going to talk about carrier underwriting guides to where all the different carriers that we have, their underwriting guides, and show you like even conversion privileges and things of that nature. We'll talk about the support that the case manager has. And we'll also talk about the Preform, which I use with every case. So we'll talk about a lot of information today. So as we go through here, you'll learn a lot. And again, I'm going to put my contact information on the last slide here. So if you have any questions, feel free to call me, email me, myself, or someone from our team will be glad to help you because we'd love to help you, support you all we possibly can in you writing life insurance. So let's just kind of take a few minutes and let's walk through this. So now when you partner with us, you're also going to get a login at firstheartland.com. And so once you've logged in, and I've already logged in just for time's sake here, you'll click Insurance Tools. And once you go to Insurance Tools, you come down. There's lots of information here. We're going to start with X-RAE at the bottom. That's where we're going to kind of start. So the very last thing on this right here is called X-RAE. Now X-RAE is, again, a tool that helps you to identify which carrier may be the best for your particular client. So let me start a new case here, okay, and I'm just going to name our person Value Client. If I can type here. And I'll just use my date of birth because I'm, just as an example here, so 10/5/69. And let's just say we're looking for term insurance, and let's just say we're looking for $1 million worth of coverage on a 10-year on a term insurance here. So once you fill out this basic 5 pieces of information here, just click Next Section. So it's going to walk you section by section that you see over here to the left-hand side. So let's just say that I'm 6'1", I'm right at 200 pounds, maybe a couple pounds more than that, but we'll say 200 right now. Does my chest exceed the waist? Let's say yes, even though maybe as I get older maybe it doesn't, but right now we'll say yes. So we'll go to next section here, and do I use any form of tobacco? I'm going to put no on this first one. I'm going to come back into a second one. I'm going to put yes because the tobacco question is very important because a lot of people who dip or chew, and there's going to be some carriers that offer non-tobacco rates or smoke-free tobacco rates if they use some smokeless tobacco. So for right now, I'm just going to put no on tobacco here. I'm going to hit next section. So again, here's the family history. Family history, some carriers really are focused on family history because, things, like cancer, heart attacks, strokes, things like they, obviously feel that they're hereditary. And so let's just put that, that my father had, no to cancer, no to heart disease, no to diabetes, but let's say he had a stroke at his age of 60. Okay, let's just say he was 60 when he had his stroke. Did he pass away from the stroke? Let's just say no in this example here. Let's just say that, and if I click yes on my mom, the same questions, my brother, my sisters, I could do the same things, but for just simplicity, we'll keep it just for my dad showing the stroke at age 60. So if I hit next section here, now let's just say that that I do take blood pressure here and medications. Let's just say my blood pressure reading was 120/80. Again, the more information you can get from your client when you're filling this out, the more accurate the quote's going to be. And so this is just a great way to do a quick underwriting fact finder, basically. And so let's just say the currently used to, this, and that's our readings. And let's just say that we started in March of 2016. Again, I'm just throwing dates out there, and it's been under control since March of 2016. Okay, so now we hit next section. And again, if there's something I don't know, I can leave that blank. But again, it's so important to get as much information as you possibly can. But for this, so let's just say I don't have any. I've never been prescribed or taken, cholesterol meds. Again, if you did, you would just. And if a person's on cholesterol meds, they're going to know those the readings and the ratios that you see here, the questions. They're going to know those answers. So, but for our sake, we're putting no. Driving violations. Again, this is another very important factor when it comes to life insurance underwriting. Do they have any moving violations, reckless driving, DWIs, license suspensions, motor vehicle accidents. Now, moving violations, I'm not talking about just they had a speeding ticket. I'm not referring to that. I'm referring to something to where it could be classified as a misdemeanor and or a felony. So you can put the driving information in there. So I'm just going to put I don't have any, just for simplicity here. So we'll hit next section. And again, this section right here is very important too, because you'll run across several individuals. If you sell life insurance long enough to where they may own a pilot license, or they may do scuba diving. And so if you click, let's just say we click scuba diving, yes, that's going to ask you several questions. Are you currently participating? And they'll get into a lot more questions on the next screen. But for simplicity, I'm going to mark no. But again, if you have a person as a pilot of an aircraft, or if they scuba dive, then you would just fill out that information. Because again, some carriers are pretty lenient on AV, some carriers are strict, and the same way it goes with the diving. So let's hit next section here. Now, there's all kinds of health issues that pop up here. If I want to click other, but let's just say that I'm a diabetic, okay, type 1 diabetic, because unfortunately, as you're out selling life insurance, you're going to run across a lot of diabetics. And so again, you'll see all kinds of health issues there. It's not an all-inclusive list, obviously, but it's a list of the most common things. So let's put diabetes here and hit next section. And so let's just say that I had I became a diabetic in March of 2016. Again, I'm just making, and let's just say my A1C is 6.6. Let's just say it's 6, and there's no complications, diabetes. But I'm currently being treated, and let's just say I take 20 units of insulin daily. And so, so again, if you're ever dealing with a diabetic, they're going to know their A1C. They're going to know, if they've had any complications, diabetic comas or amputations caused by diabetes or anything of that nature. They're going to know how many units of insulin they take. So you click here, and it goes to case summary. And so it just kind of summarizes your case here, everything that you've entered. And if you scroll to the very bottom, just hit search underwriting. So now this will take a couple of seconds, and it's searching about 80 different insurance companies for rates. So as you can see, Lincoln on this particular one, Lincoln may not on the next one, depends on a lot of factors that go into it. But Lincoln would give this person standard non-tobacco. To American General would be Table B, which is Table 2. Protective would be Table 2 again, which is Table B. And then Accordia Life Prudential would be Table 3. Transamerica would be Table E, which is Table 5. And you can kind of see all the way down. There's different ones. So if I wanted to, let's just say I wanted a 20-year term, and let's just say I'm in Missouri. I click the Missouri term insurance, and then I hit search pricing. And now it's going to come up with prices for these individuals. And so as you can see, Lincoln, and if I were to go to monthly rates here, Lincoln is by far the least expensive. So Lincoln, for this particular person, is $294 a month for a $1 million 20-year term at standard non-tobacco rates, to where the next closest carrier is American General at $364 monthly. So obviously that's $70 a month more. And then you'll see Protective comes in at $422. And if we just kept going, you'd see the rates, like Transamerica Prudential would be over, $600 and $700. So obviously the best carrier for this particular individual would be Lincoln. And so we would, we'd go and we would submit the application with Lincoln. We'd go back to the quote engine. So now we know to do standard non-tobacco, and we just hit apply when we get back to the quote engine, and we submit the application online, and it won't take us, 5 minutes to complete that application. Now, I always recommend to do the Lincoln term, or you can do the e-ticket, the Link Express, the term Excel. If you do the fully underwritten application, then it's a longer process. You can do that. It prevents them from having a phone call. If you do one of these other two down here, it's to where they're going to get a phone call and they're going to be asked all the health questions and so forth. So it kind of depends on whether you want to do all the full application, or you want the carrier to do it via a phone call. So as you can kind of see there, so if I go back here, and so if I go back to case overview here, I can go back here. So let's go back to tobacco use. Let's change this tobacco use to yes. Okay, just as a quick example. And let's just say, will you test negative for nicotine? No, I would test positive. Let's just say in our example here, I've never smoked cigarettes, cigars, pipe, chewing tobacco. Let's say yes to chewing tobacco. They currently chew tobacco, yes. So let's put down that, again, we've made this person a user of chewing tobacco. So now we hit next section here. Let's just keep everything else the same, and I'm going to go to search underwriting. Again, it's shopping many carriers here, so it'll take a few minutes to come up. And not every carrier participates in this X-RAE, but it's a tremendous, tremendous thing. And you'll notice something here. You'll notice here, and this is really, really unique for this, but you'll notice here that Lincoln, even though they now use tobacco, still offers this individual standard non-tobacco. Because Lincoln is one that if they use chewing tobacco, they still classify it as non-tobacco. The same way with Prudential. Prudential classifies that person as non-smoker. And so there's other carriers too, but those with the health conditions, they didn't pop up to the top. But just using Lincoln is just our example here, that Lincoln is by far, if you have this person, you can see the rate is $294 with Lincoln. The next rate is $708. And so obviously less than half the price. Lincoln is less than half the price of the next closest one. So this is a great, great thing, because obviously if you submit this with Prudential and they come back table 3, then you got to go back to the client and kind of restart the process somewhat. So you want to use this X-RAE as often as you can. And again, if I go to case overview, I can make any changes I want to make to it. And that. But if you ever have a question on how to use X-RAE or anything, feel free to call us and we'll be glad to walk you through this. So I want to take a second and, because I do want to cover several things here, I want to cover the carrier underwriting guides. Let's take a second look at the carrier underwriting guides here. So if I go to carrier underwriting guides, I'm going to go to insurance tools, and I'm going to come down here to where it says carrier underwriting guides. Okay, and I click on that carrier underwriting guides here. It's going to pull up a menu to where I can choose which carrier do I want to use. So let's just say I want to use Protective. We'll go to Protective this time. It's just our example. And let's just say we're looking at the Protective 10-year term, okay? And let's just say we want to see the product features. So I hit look up. So I've chosen 3 things there. So the product features, it kind of tells me all the different products, what their minimum face amount is, what their ages are. They'll go 18 to 75 on this particular product. They'll go face amounts between 100,000 and up to 50 million, and what risk classes they will use. They have select preferred, non-tobacco, and tobacco. So they have 4 risk classes on this particular plan here. Modal Factors, which is the amount of money a person can save by paying annually. So obviously, if they pay semi-annually, they're paying 4%. They're paying 4% more than if they were to pay annually, and you can kind of see the information there. If they have a policy fee or not. With Protective, if the policy fee is commissionable, and with Protective the policy fee is commissionable, and so you'll see that's why it says true. What states that they're approved in, you'll see the list of states there. What riders, they have the children's term rider, accidental death benefit rider, waiver premium rider, and then you'll kind of see all the way down through here. Like for example, this is something very important too. Conversions. How long of a conversion period do they have? So that's very, very, very important, and you'll see that conversion options or conversion information right here, depending on which term they bought. So that just kind of gives you an idea there under product features. If I go to underwriting guidelines, this tells me what the criteria is for select preferred. Criteria is for preferred. So if you got a person trying to qualify for select preferred, So, obviously there's drug and alcohol questionnaire, there's aviation, avocation, if they can't have any hazardous sports or occupations, blood pressure, cholesterol, kind of what the readings need to be, foreign travel, medical history, et cetera, military. You kind of still way down. Tobacco, like for example, on this one they look back 5 years, but on preferred non-tobacco they look back 2 years, 24 months. So that really varies on when's the last time they used tobacco, whether they get select preferred, which is the best rating possible in the insurance industry, or preferred, which is the second best rating possible. And if we look on product features here, went the wrong one here. Build charts. So build charts here. This shows you, height weight charts for if they're between 0 and 70, if they're between, beyond 70, 71 and above age-wise, and kind of what the max weight is for preferred non-tobacco, and this is preferred non-tobacco again, select preferred, and then select preferred again, depending on what age you're with, they're on here. So this just kind of tells you, for example, like if a person is, just as a quick example here, let's just say a person is, let's say 6 foot. So they can weigh up to get preferred, they can weigh up to 221, but they cannot weigh less than 147 on that. So it kind of gives you an idea there of how that works. So, and so then once you kind of got the height weight chart, and again, once you use the quote engine, you're actually entering the height, so you don't have to worry about this. I'm just showing you this just in case you ever need it in the future. And then here's underwriting requirements. So for example, if they're between 0 and 15, it's always, no medical. And if depends on how much face amount, it could, show you what they have to have done, like the blood, the urine, the motor vehicle report, which is just they're pulling their MVR, paramedical exam, kind of what requirements are needed. Now, all these carriers also have accelerated underwriting, which will prevent the examination. So if a person is using accelerated underwriting, you don't have to worry about these whatsoever. But these are if accelerated underwriting is not chosen. So hope that was a little bit of a help there. So I'm going to go back here. So let's talk about case managers here for a second. So the way the case managers work is when you submit a case, you'll submit it to First Heartland. First Heartland will assign that to a case manager. A case manager will submit that, will review the case, make sure everything is in good order, and let you know if something's missing. That way, and as soon as everything's in good order, they're going to send it to the carrier. The carrier then has a application in good order, so it'll help speed along the process. Then the carrier's going to order a medical exam if it's needed, and some carriers allow you to order medical exams. It kind of depends on, it varies by carrier, but it allows you to order the medical examination, it allows you to find out what the carrier needs in order to issue that case. It could be a medical examination. It could be you missed a form or something of that nature, which not likely is going to be the case, but it could happen. And maybe the telephone interview is needed if there's a phone interview. It kind of tells you what's needed, and that way you can encourage your client to get those things done. Every time your case has any activity on it, as far as like say the phone interview is completed, you'll get an email from the case manager letting you know the phone interview is completed and if there's any other outstanding requirements. So the case manager is going to walk your case through underwriting and send you updates every time there's something that needs to be completed. And it's on the pending report that they're sending you, the updates, it's always going to say whether the carrier is going to take care of that requirement, whether the First Heartland is going to take care of the requirement, or whether they're expecting you to take care of that requirement. So they'll tell you whose responsibility that is. So the case managers, they'll become your best friends and just tremendous support and help. And that way, if you ever need to, I'll give you a quick example. I had a guy this morning got issued Select Preferred. He was only applying for $100,000 10-year term because we didn't, fully expect him to get Select Preferred. And so after he did, now we've moved it to a 15-year, $250,000 because he qualified for Select Preferred. So you can run options even after the fact So in the case managers will be very, very helpful. So again, you'll get updates, which is the nice thing. And then there's a Preform. So if you come over here, go back, everything's under Insurance Tools, and if you go to under the Preform, if you'll go to let me pull it up here, the Preliminary Risk Evaluator, it's going to pull up a form, and that form is going to look just like this right here. Now, you can, if you wanted to kind of submit a complete pre-app, you can. If you have like I had a very large case a couple of years ago, I submitted this Preform because I want to make sure it went through. I had used X-RAE and everything else, but I wanted this case to go through with no hiccups for the client whatsoever. And so I submitted this Preform in full detail. So the first 3 pages are basically an application that allows them to shop it through all the carriers. Now, the pages I use every single time is pages 4 and 5. And this is the form to where it's just called a Preform. It's a Preliminary Risk Evaluator. So every time I write an application, I have a client sign this, and that way I can, let's just say I submit a case with Protective as an example, and let's just say that, I ask for preferred, but they come back with standard, and because of maybe a family history issue or whatever it may be, then I can use this Preform. I can submit this Preform to my case manager, and the Preform has 2 pages to it. And you'll see that there is, about, 70 carriers or so listed there. And so it allows them to shop that case to those 70 carriers or so. And so that way you don't have to go back out and get a new application yet. You can get a confirmation from the carrier, hey, they would accept, your client at a preferred rating or standard plus rating, whatever it may be. And then that way, after you get that confirmation from the carrier, because the carrier gives them a chance to look at the exam if there was one done, paramedical exam. It allows them to look at medical records if there was medical records ordered. It allows them to pull the MIB, which is Medical Information Bureau. It allows them to look at the pharmaceutical check. It allows them to look at all the things that's already in the file, and then they'll say, they'll come back and say, hey, we'll issue that case at whatever rating, standard plus or preferred plus, whatever it may be. And so this right here is a tremendous form. This form here will become your best friend if you're in the life insurance business. So because this right here is a tool that, again, allows you to shop all these carriers with just a couple of signatures, which is the signature right here and then the signature right here. So with just 2 signatures. So the website is firstheartland.com. So if you ever want to, once you get contracted with us, you'll get your own username and password to the website. It allows you to run your own quotes. And again, if you ever need help running quotes, First Heartland run them for you. We'll be glad to run them for you. There's all kinds of support systems on the back end. So again, if you have questions, feel free to reach out to me. Again, this is Brian Askins. My email is brian.askins@secureig.com, or my office phone is 417-883-9300. Myself or a member of my team would be glad to help you. I would encourage you. A lot of people, they don't write fully underwritten life insurance just because they're not comfortable with it. But with the process and procedures that we have in place, we can help you take all the rocks out of the road and have a smooth situation. So now I'm not going to say you're never going to run into a difficult situation, because you will from time to time if you write enough life insurance. But with the process procedures we have, it's an easy of a process writing life insurance as possible, especially, and I would encourage you to use as much accelerated underwriting as possible, because that just goes so quickly and it's so user-friendly to the client also. Hey, I want to thank you for your partnership with Secure Insurance Group. If we can do anything for you, please don't hesitate to contact us. If you'd like to get in and sell more life insurance, feel free to call us. We'd be glad to set up a training, with just one-on-one training with you to walk you through term life insurance, guaranteed universal life, index universal life, whole life, whatever type of insurance you're looking to sell, second to dies, anything at all. We'd be glad to walk you through training and show you how to answer all of your questions that way you're comfortable in the next opportunity you have making a presentation. So thank you very much. Hope you have a tremendous day, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.